All right, today's recording is for your new Tuesday activity. We're going to try and make it to where every Tuesday you're going to be doing this. So I'm going to walk you through it today. It is called Versatiles. I don't know if you've ever used Versatiles before, but they're these tiny little, things. Maybe you've seen them where they're a lot bigger, but these Versatiles, if you hold on the side, there's two little grooves here that you would grab onto, and you can flip it up. And inside, you're going to see tiles, hence the name Versatiles, and they have numbers on them. You need to have them on the side where you have numbers facing up, and then you can see a bunch of letters. So these are not in the right spot. So I'm going to have to move all of them over. So if you need to do that, do so. And then you need to get your Versatile packet. If you don't have that, get it and get your name put on it, okay? Press pause if you need to. I'm ready. I'm going to pull up my document camera here, but here's what it needs to look like. Okay, you have your numbers and your letters. It doesn't matter which way they're facing, as long as you can see all the numbers and all the letters. You're ready to begin. I'm going to share my screen here in just a second, as soon as my document camera's up. All right, there we go. Let me share my screen, and we're going to go through this first one together. What's really important is that you read the instructions, because every page you do a little bit differently. The tiles are all the same every single time, but the instructions might vary a little bit. So we're going to do magical synonyms together. And this box here is just a reminder of what a synonym is. It says, consider this. A synonym is a word that has the same or almost the same meaning as another word. Here are two synonyms, sloppy and messy. Read the story, find the synonym for each word in color. And in this case, I know it's black and white, but the color word is the word right after the number. Generally, it's pretty obvious to figure out. I don't think there's any other. There might be one in here that talks about color, but it's an easy one to figure out. So how this works is when you're on number one, you're going to grab that number tile. So I'm working with number one tile. When I move to two, I'll grab two. Okay, so it says the great Zampano is one of the best magicians in the world. I'm going to work with the word best, and I'm going to come down here with my number one tile, and I'm going to read all of the possible answers in my answer box for best. Fortunate, old, begin. Hardest, pal, pleasing. Greatest, few, novel, judge, timely, several. So for the word best, it is describing the magician. I'm going to look for another word that means best. Just a second. And I know that best, a synonym for best, is greatest. That is letter box G. So I'm going to go to my Versatile with my number one tile, and I'm going to put it on top of the letter G. Boop, right there. Then I'm going to grab my number tile 2, and I'm going to move on to number 2. I have gone to see him many times over the years. I'm looking for a synonym of the word many, many times. I'm going to look at the bottom and read my words, and I see the word several in box L, several times. Number 2 goes in box L. I want you doing this with me. Grab tile 3, same thing. Each time I watch Zampano's act, I see something new. This one's a little tricky. I see something about timely. Maybe that's what new means. So I'm going to take my number 3 and I'm going to put it on K. Not 100% sure, but this is self-checking, so I'll be able to kind of figure it out as I go if I'm right or not. Then I'm going to grab my number 4 and move on. Tickets to Zampano shows are always scarce. His tickets are scarce. I'm going to keep reading to see if I can figure out a little bit more in context. That's because people start buying them long before the show. To get a ticket, you need to be very early and very lucky, or you need to have a friend who's working in the show. Tickets for Zampano shows are always scarce. Scarce must mean hard to come by, maybe. So let's see. Scarce. Tickets are scarce. I see the word few. Tickets are few. I'm going to put number 4 on H right here and move on to number 5. That's because people start buying them long before the show. I see the word begin. I'm going to put 5 on letter C. There it is. 6. To get a ticket, you need to be very early and very lucky. All right. Well, early is again talking about time. And I actually think maybe I got number 3 wrong. So I'm going to take number 3 and move it back to my top. And I think 6 is timely. All right. I'll figure out number 3. I'll come back to it later. And 7, it said lucky. And I know that fortunate, A, is lucky. So I'm going to put my 7 there. 8. Or you have to have a friend who is working on the show. Pal. I know that a friend is a pal. So I'm going to put 8 on E. And I'm going to grab 9. Even Zampano's biggest critic has said some nice things about the act. A critic, even his biggest critic, has said nice things. So his biggest judge, perhaps, I think judge for 9, I'm going to put that on J. If you're not with me, you can press pause and catch up. Number 10. Once he said that Zampano could make ancient tricks seem new. Ancient means old. I'm going to put 10 for B. I'm going to grab 11. If your toughest critic says something like that, your toughest, hardest, I'm going to put D. 11 is going to go to D. Says something that nice, I'm going to put F for pleasing. 12, which leaves me with I for 3. I'm going to double check. Each time I watch Zampano's act, I see something new. Another word for new is novel. And so I'm going to take number 3, and I'm going to put it at I. Once I have them all over the letters how I want them, I'm going to set my sheet to the side. I'm going to close my Versatile. I'm going to flip my Versatile. I'm going to open it back up. And I have a pattern. This is how this activity is self-checking. I'm going to grab my sheet again, and in the bottom left corner of all of these is a pattern. You don't have to be able to see the colors to see that my patterns match. I want you to notice all the colors are together, and then they make that shaded in shape. If you open this and it's right, you're good. Move on to the next one. If you open it and you've got some that are not quite right, you have to take those tiles out and try again. So I would take out the ones that clearly don't match. I would close, flip, and go back and try again. So I would know that it's tiles 7, 12, 11, and 8 that I need to go back and try again. And then J, K, L, and A, because those are the ones that I pulled from. This is a self-checking practice activity. These are all skills that we've worked on or talked about, and this is reviewing. It is up to you to be honest and to have integrity. We talked about integrity, doing what's right when nobody's watching. You get nothing out of this if you are cheating. You get nothing out of this if you aren't making self-corrections. The whole point of this is to practice in a fun way, something different. I might not ever know that you are cheating. I know that there's no way you're going to get this whole packet done today, and that's not the goal. I want you to take your time, enjoy the activity, but most important is for you to have some integrity, okay? Once you're done, you're going to get the tiles, you're going to flip them again, and you can go on to the next page. I will have Miss Moses collect these at the end of the hour, or you will give them to myself if you're in my room, and we will save them for the next time we do Versatiles. You can write on these, so sometimes, not always, but sometimes it's beneficial to do some crossing out if you need to, or writing down notes or whatever. So if you need to write on this, it's yours. Just make sure you get your name on it. Have fun.